the flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Great job, ladies.
It looks like we're going racing next time around. Get this field, line them up, nose to tail, tighten them up, 2 by 2. Man, it's great to see the hillside full. You've been very patient, fans. We're glad you made it. On behalf of Rick Gross, the president of Stars, Max Reinach, promoted Portsmouth Raceway Park, the owners of West Virginia Motor Speedway, we're glad to have you here. This is what you came for. Heat number 1. Phil Hall bringing the field around. They head down the backstretch slowly behind the pace truck. On the inside, it's Hall, Clewell, Moran, Lucas, Clint Smith, Jeff Burdett. That's the top 5 rows on the inside. I'm still waiting for a lineup, folks, so hang with me right here. Still waiting. Here they come. Hall brings them out of turn 4. It's Hall on the inside. They hit the stripe. The green flies. Clewell to the inside. Clewell to the inside. 3 wide into turn 1. Somebody's going to get checked out. David Gibson files it back in spot. Phil Hall from 1st to 4th, and we're now through turn 2. Clewell to the inside. Gibson. Gibson battles at the flag stand for the lead. Clewell in 3rd. Donnie Moran feathers the bottom in 5th. Moran looks to set the tires in the way he wants to get them straightened out. Field is feathered out as we had a spin out here in the back, but they've righted themselves. Caution.
Flag racing next time by. Look at that front row. The H7 of Phil Hall and David Williams, first time ever here at the West Virginia Motor Speedway, sitting on the front row of a heat race.
As they came out, Todd, you were back there getting this paperwork done. David Williams held this field off in the first lap. It was a big shuffle as it dropped, but caution flew, so now we're back to a restart. Phil Hall got shuffled back to 4th, and Moran was all over him as it came out of 2 when the caution flags flew. Hall brings them around. Their orders in the driver's meeting. Bring them around, nose to tail, nose to tail. Now mash the gas, and the green flies. Moran, all right underneath. Moran to the inside. Williams to the outside. Moran, 4 positions already. Up in front of David Gibson. Gibson all over the backside of Moran as Williams leads them into turn 3.
Donnie Moran pushing for the lead, coming off of turn number 4. He has it. He will lead lap number 1. David Williams 2nd, and David Gibson, your quick qualifier, 3rd place right now. Phil Hall started on the pole, drops back to the 6th position right now. Young Courtney Clewell runs for Steve Lucas, and Phil Hall almost touched coming off of turn number 2.
Top 3 transfer, that's where the battle is. Phil Hall started on the pole, shuffled back to the 6th spot, and having trouble doing anything else. Williams still holding on to the final transfer spot. Gibson in 2nd, and Moran is starting to check out. Steve Lucas dives to the inside, looking for a shot, and he gets under Clewell. Lucas and Clewell nose to tail down the backstretch.
And look out, here comes the H7, Phil Hall, back on the high side. It looks like he picked a hard tire when it's starting to heat up, because here comes the H7, Phil Hall, putting pressure all over the 12 of Courtney Clewell. Now Steve Lucas with pressure all over the rear bumper of the 25 of David Williams, as Moran is still checking out on the field. David Gibson runs 2nd.
Quite a battle back in the back, but the real battle will be for that 3rd and final transfer spot. Side by side, Lucas and Williams. Lucas gives him a little shuffle with the right rear and goes by as they go underneath the flag stand. Williams now going to fight the battle up between Phil Hall and Clewell. Back up front, Moran with 8 car lengths, the lead, and looking to stretch it out as he heads by. This time, 5 laps down, this first 15-lap heat.
5 laps are in the books. Your leader is Donnie Moran as he stretches out his lead to about half a straightaway, going down the backstretch. A little bit farther back in the pack, we've got a good battle with Dick Barton and Ryan Markham. A little farther back, Clint Smith with that Ford Taurus back in the field. Hey, back on the tail. Not a very good day for the 75 of Johnny Gill as he brings up the rear. But back up front, it's still Moran with half a car length lead. Then it's Gibson, and now Stevie Lucas has distanced himself between himself and the 25 of David Williams.
Moran having it his way. 7 laps in the book. I tell you, Todd, they're busting it high. Somebody's going to eat some concrete, rubbing that 3 and 4 fence up there. The concrete's going to get somebody as there's no cushion left in the apex of that turn. Back up front, Moran stretched out to 12 car lengths. The lead is growing and growing. David Gibson holding his own in second. Steve Lucas, the battle for Rookie of the Year, and yet he's 4th in points. He's in the 3rd and final transfer spot. Phil Hall, David Williams, and Courtney Clewell battling it out for 4th spot.
Great battle back in the pack between Ryan Markham, Dick Barton. Barton now on the low side. Ryan Markham riding the cushion out of turn 2. It's a dead heat going down the back straightaway. Who will it be going into turn 3? Markham edges ahead on the high side. As we complete lap number 9, Moran still your leader. Here they come off of turn 4. Ryan Markham and Dick Barton nose to nose into turn number 1.
Phil Hall working on the backside of David Williams. Williams checked him up and slammed the door as it came out of turn 2. Hall looks to have the car working better, and he lets it slide up into the loose stuff out of turn 4. Your leader, Donnie Moran, 15 car lengths to lead over David Gibson. Next time by, it'll be 11 down, 4 to go. Steve Lucas holds on to the 3rd and final transfer spot. Back there with that battle, it's Williams, Hall, Clewell, Ryan Markham, and Dick Barton. That's how they come out of there, with Nathan Durbrow making a big charge from the back.
What a great drive by the big man, Nathan Durbrow. He comes from the tail, and he's up to about 8th or 9th position right now. As back up front, Donnie Moran gets ready to get into some heavy lap traffic. Jeff Burdett looks like he'll be the first victim as Moran shoots it high into turn number 1. Burdett way up into marbles. Moran comes down on the bottom side. Moran gets by Burdett as he heads into turn number 3, getting ready to come across the stripe for 2 laps to go. Donnie Moran for this first heat race.
Moran into lap traffic. Put Burdett a lap down, looking to do the same. Nothing doing, but he's got heavy traffic in front of him. Moran going to have to battle it out these last 2 laps. Moran to the high side, around lap traffic. Moran holds his line.
1 lap to go, white flag lap. Doc, you won't see this much. You won't see John Gill get lapped in a 15-lap heat race anyplace, but we've just seen it today here at the West Virginia Motor Speedway.
Moran busting down the backstretch. This time by, the checkers away for the 99 of Dresden, Ohio's Donnie Moran. Out of turn 4. Moran to the low side that time. Checkers drop on the 99 of Moran. Second place to David Gibson. And 3rd to Steve Lucas. That's your top 3 in a transfer. Phil Hall in an altercation out of turn 2 in the last lap as he is mashed up and they got the car moving now. 4th position to David Williams. 5th to Courtney Clewell. 6th to Dick Barton. 7th, Ryan Markham. 8th, Nathan Durbrow with a great run from the back. Clint Smith in 9th position.
Front straightaway with today's winner of qualifying heat race number 1. Donnie, congratulations.
Thank you. Masterbuilt worked real well. Fisher Engine worked real good. I want to say thanks to all my sponsors, Tom and Timmy and Tony. They're doing a real good job on the crew. We'll have to wait and see what happens tomorrow night. Want to say hi to my family up there and stop and buy a T-shirt.
Hey, Donnie, let's talk about the race just a little bit. Kept that right rear right up on that apron, especially going through turns 1 and 2. You think the racetrack's going to move up to the high side of the wall?
Well, I don't think so. You know, that where the cars seem to work best getting in the corners. We just is all over the racetrack, but, you know, worked real good there. I could scotch the car up real good, hard getting in, and drive off fairly good.
You happy with the combination you just pulled up for that one? Everything worked all right for you?
Yeah, I was happy with it, but there's always room for improvement.
Good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Nice round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for heat race winner number 1 in the Ernie Salvage Yards 99 car, Dresden, Ohio, Donnie Moran. Donnie took...
Professor from Greenbrier, Arkansas on the pole. This is Bill Fry. Starting on the outside of the front row, the 04C of Bob Close. Inside row number 2, the North Carolina driver, the 53 of Ray Cook. And look out, beside of him, the number 19 of Greencastle, Pennsylvania. This is Gary Stuhler. Up next, row 3 on the inside, it's the long, tall, cool one of Bob Pierce. Beside of him, York, Pennsylvania's Rick Eckert. Up next, row number 4 on the inside in the number 7 MM, this is Matt Miller. Starting on the outside of row number 4 from Saxonburg, Pennsylvania, this is Ed Faree.
Up next, the 24C of Ryan Klein, the 72 of Racing John Mason, the 12S of Stinson, the B1 of Steve Baker, the 18 of Scott, the 93X of Flinter, the 1Z of Zarin, and Paul Wilmot Jr. is a scratch. Race fans, all heat race events are Bula Exhaust qualifying heats. The Bula Exhaust qualifying heat races are ready for action. Cook! Stuhler knows what he's doing. Twin 30 wins here in June. Pierce always tough. Who's it going to be? Pace truck heading pit side, Todd. Bring him to the stripe.
Here we come. Green flag in the air. Gary says, hold it down. Let's go racing, boys. It's Fry close, door to door. Into turn number 1, Fry to the bottom, close to the high side. Gary Stuhler stuck on the high side. Bob Pierce on the bottom. They're 3 wide out of turn 2. Bill Fry with your early leader heading into turn number 3. Bob Close holds second, Gary Stuhler third, but here comes Ray Cook on the bottom out of turn 4. He gets by Stuhler. Now he looks for more. He looks for the second position, but no, Bob Close says, I've got the second. Here we go into turn number 3. Bill Fry still your leader. They're 3 wide off of turn 2. It's Stuhler, Cook, and Close as they come off of turn 2. Close still in the second position with Cook third and Stuhler 4.
Close holding his own right now. Cook on the inside, Stuhler to the bottom. Bill Fry, that's the story right now. 2 laps in the book. Bill Fry up to a 6-car length lead over the battle for second between It's Too Close to Call. Ray Cook, Close, and there's Stuhler looking like a vulture.
Gary Stuhler just waiting, sitting back waiting, and now he shoots to the bottom. Close, gets a little high, gets a little loose. Stuhler takes advantage, takes the third and final transfer spot right now. But back up front, the story is Bill Fry running the high line around this racetrack, pulling out to about a 10-car length lead over Ray Cook. Stuhler right on Ray Cook's heels as they head down the back chute into turn number 3. Back in the pack, Racing John Mason trying to move around the B1. We got a car up in the high groove here. Caution flag for the number 24 of Ryan Klein.
Bring him to the stripe, nose to tail. It's Fry, Cook. There we go. Green again. Fry, Cook, Stuhler. That's your top 3 as they end 1. Fry taking it high. Cook all over the backside. Stuhler down to the inside. Stuhler even up as they come out of turn 2. Fry to the outside. He'll hold office. But now it's Stuhler back to the inside. Stuhler even as they come out of turn 4. The high side has a tendency to pull the power here at West Virginia.
What a great race. Gary Stuhler clear on the guardrail on the bottom of the racetrack. Looks like he's got a little bit of an advantage, but Fry fights back on the outside. It's a dead heat down the back chute. Fry takes the advantage going into turn number 3. The professor has his car working to perfection on the high side right now. They're dead even coming across the stripe. Fry edges out the 19 of Stuhler right now. Ray Cook battling back here in the third position, about 3 or 4 car lengths behind. Once again, it's Storer on the bottom. This time he has the advantage over Fry down the back straightaway. Fry fighting back on the outside with everything he has. This time it looks like it's going to be Gary Storer. Gary Storer will lead lap number 5 as they come across the stripe. Fry fights back on the outside one more time. What a great show, fans.
Todd, while all that's happening up front, Rick Eckert is making a beeline on the 53 of Ray Cook for that final transfer spot. 6 laps down, 9 to go. This time by will be 7 laps in the book. Eckert needs a caution to help him out. The battle back up front as Fry pulls out to the front, still garnering the high side. That's where you get the power here at West Virginia Motor Speedway. Fry to the high side, they're even again coming out of turn 2. Stoller holding his line. Eckert all over the backside of on the back stretch, banks it off the wall, but the car still rolls. Fry holds the lead. They're halfway through. 8 laps down, 7 to go.
A great battle back in the pack for about the 10th position. The 93 John Flitter, Steve Baker, the 4 of Ed Ferree, and Matt Miller. What a great battle they're putting on those 4 cars right now. Hey, they're racing just like they're up front, just like the front guys. John Mason puts a move on the 12 of Brian Stinson. Moves up to the 7th position. John Mason starting 10th, moving up 3 positions so far. Back up front, they are still door to door. Bill Fry, Gary Storer. It's a dead heat coming out of 2. A dead heat down the back straightaway. Who's it going to be this time?
Let's give some credit here to racing John Mason. He needs a caution, but he is fast. He is all the way up to the 6th position. Fry pulls back by Stoller here at the flag stand. Stoller to the inside one more time. Fry going to keep the move on the high side. Now pulls behind Stoller as they come out of turn 2. Stoller may have done the move that puts him in the winner's circle here in this heat race. As Stoller holds on and Fry changes his line and comes down to the inside of Stoller, forcing him up high.
Don't count out Bill Fry as he has run up front this whole heat race. Gary Stoller moves up the racetrack. Coming off of turn 2, a great slide job right up in front of Bill Fry. Now he stretches it out to about a 3-car length advantage over second place running Bill Fry. The 1Z of Jim Zarin having problems, mechanical problems, drops to the inside coming into pit road as we complete lap number 12 completed. Now the 53 of Ray Cook looking to put the pressure on the 66 of Bill Fry. Gary Stoller pulled out to about a 6 or 7 car length advantage over second running Bill Fry. Coming around this time, it'll be 2 laps to go for Greencastle, Pennsylvania's Gary Stoller.
Stoller holds a 2-car length advantage over Bill Fry. Fry 1 car length over Ray Cook in the 4th spot. The Ray Vest Special, the excavating special of Rick Eckert. Bob Pierce holds on to 5th and racing John Mason 6th. This time by, they take the white flag. 1 lap to go. Smooth Gary Stoller out of turn 2. Got a lap car in front of him. They could play an important part in the finish of this second of 6 heats. There it was. A little contact on the backstretch. Stoller holding on to the spot. Fry in second. Fry going to make one last charge out of turn 4. Nothing doing. It's Gary Stoller, Bill Fry, and Ray Cook in 4th. Rick Eckert, 5th. Bob Pierce racing John Mason into 6th. Bob Close takes 7th. Flinter takes the 8th spot. Miller in the 9th. Stinson.
Hey, had a chance to talk to this guy a little earlier, and I asked him when we were standing in the truck, I said, Gary, you think you can pass out there? He said, yep, I can do it, I think. And I tell you what, he sure proved in this second qualifying heat race. Gary, great run.
Well, thank you. I just, he was giving me a pretty good run there on the top, and I just couldn't get enough clearance to get up top there, and I had to pinch off. And it was a pretty good race for fans, I hope.
It sure was. I'll tell you what, you had him standing on your feet. Decided to go to the bottom. I guess you're going to live or die by the bottom, and just determine that. You think that right now is the quickest way around the racetrack? You think it's a good 2-groove racetrack, it looks like, right from here?
Yeah, I mean, that's the deal with this place. Once it slicks over like that, you can definitely pass on as long as it don't get stripped up, and it definitely ain't a one-lane Pennsboro.
How's the combination, the car?
We're a little off right now, but I'm pretty decent. We're going to make some changes, and see what happens in the, dash tomorrow. I guess we'll make some changes, decide what we're going to do tonight.
Hey, good luck to you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the 19 car has 8 stars wins in 1998.
All right, Todd, here we go. Heat number 3. On the pole in the 59M, McLaughlin. 11B on the outside of row 1. Jerry Bowersock, row 2 on the inside. The 008 of Chuck Harper. Outside of Harper, Rod Conley in the 71R.
Third row on the inside, the 04B of Booper Bear. Starting beside of him, the 96F of Keith Berner. Starting on the 4th row inside, it's the kid from Beckley, West Virginia, Kenny Compton Jr. Beside of him in the OG car from Morgantown, West Virginia, Dave Groves. Scheduled to start on the 5th row on the inside, the 21 of Jason Montgomery. Beside of him, Mineral Wells' Ed Schumann.
Starting 11th, the 1U of Mike Urban. Starting 12th, the 6th of Mike Fakis. 13th, the 51 of Least. The 14th starter, the 07R of Brett Rebergen. 15th, the 5D of Hackathorn, and Dub Barnhouse is a scratch. E97 made both shows here in 1998, looking to make his 3rd show tomorrow. Pace truck pulls pit side. Here they come. It's McLaughlin and Bowersock. Got the flag stand, McLaughlin by a wheel. McLaughlin to the inside, Bowersock to the outside. The track is fast all the way around right now. Chuck Harper to the inside and Conley right on the outside of him. The battle as they go down turn 2. Compton still out there battling for 6th. Booper Bear dials to the inside underneath Harper. It's Bear to the inside. The car sticks low. First time by, it's Bowersock. Jerry Bowersock with the lead. McLaughlin in 2nd. Rod Conley 3rd, but that's not going to last very long. As Booper Bear pulls up in front of Conley at a turn 2. Bear's on a mission.
Booper Bear in 3rd position right now. Hey, look back a little bit. The 0, Dave Groves, gets around. The kid I was just talking about, Kenny Compton, back up front. Booper Bear makes a bow for the 2nd position and has it. Shane McLaughlin back to 3rd. Booper Bear riding the bottom of this racetrack. Up front, how about Kenny Gosser? First time here and leading a heat race. Back for about the 5th position, Chuck Harper, Dave Groves really going at it back up front. Booper Bear to the bottom. Here he comes. Booper Bear is your new leader on lap number 3, taking the lead over Jerry Bowersock. Shane McLaughlin still rides 3rd. Rod Conley 4th, and Chuck Harper rounds out the top 5.
Bear with a big charge from his 5th starting spot all the way to the lead. Bowersock still holding off McLaughlin. Those two started on the front row. Back in the pack, it's Compton. Compton battling big time just to hold ground. The 4th position held down by Rod Conley, Chuck Harper, and Groves battling it out right there. Groves underneath Harper. The 0 and the 00 battle it out at a turn 2. Back up front. Booper Bear's pulling away. Booper Bear looks like Moran did in the first heat. Found the line and check it out. McLaughlin still holding on to 2nd. Bowersock 3rd. Rod Conley's on the charge.
Rod Conley, how about Dave Groves, the 0 car, getting around Chuck Harper. The 0 car looks to be the fastest car right now. He's up to the 5th position, the 0 of Dave Groves. Back up front, Booper Bear with about a 10 car length advantage over Shane McLaughlin. What a surprise. Took over the 2nd spot 2 laps ago over Kenny Gosser. Now Gosser in 3rd is in danger of losing the 3rd position to Rod Conley. Dives to the inside. Can't make a mistake. Here comes Dave Groves on the inside of Rod Conley down the back chute. He takes the advantage and has the 4th position right now, but Conley fires back on the outside. It's 3 cars coming out of turn number 4, battling for the 3rd position. Rod Conley on the high side takes the 3rd position from Kenny Gosser.
Rod Conley with a powerful move down the front stretch as he takes over the third and final transfer spot with 7 laps in the book. Next time Bear hits the stripe, it'll be halfway. Booper Bear out of turn 4. Different looking number, but a great race car driver he is. The cross flags as he checked in, and he is checking out. 14 car lengths to lead over McLaughlin. McLaughlin in second, Rod Conley third. Dave Groves into fourth. Bowersock, Chuck back to fifth. Chuck Harper sixth. Kenny Compton Jr. seventh. That's your top 7 with 8 laps. Make it 9 laps in the book.
Great battle in the back of the pack with Greg Lice, Mike Fakis, and Ed Schumann going tooth and nail. Fakis coming on the bottom side. Something wrong? No, he's pushing to the floor. Goes by them both. Back up front, Booper Bear with about a half straightaway lead over Shane McLaughlin. A surprise running in second right now. Shane McLaughlin with about a 10-car length lead over third running Rod Conley. McLaughlin running the high side the whole race and making it work. Rod Conley third, Dave Groves fourth. Groves needs a caution flag to get up there with Rod Conley to see if he can challenge for the top 3 positions right there now.
You're right, Todd. Nobody wants to see a crossing right now, but it would make for a great finish. There's no doubt in my mind. Groves is hooked up. He just is having trouble. They're all fast right now. This track has come back to the cars. Recapping everything with 11 laps in. Booper Bear is harnessing this field right now, putting the shellac on everybody. 20 car lengths as he comes by the flag stand. 12 laps down, 3 to go. McLaughlin in second. Rod Conley third. Groves made up a little bit that time. He's a little bit, but it may just not have enough time left in a 15-lap heat event.
12 laps in the books. Booper Bear will see the 2 laps to go signal. The 2 sticks are in the air right now. 2 laps to go for Super Booper Bear. Shane McLaughlin holds on to that second position, stretching out his advantage over Rod Conley, who is running third. Dave Groves could not make up any ground on Rod Conley. Groves a little bit behind Rod Conley. Conley stretches it out, going down the back straightaway now. Kenny Compton finally making a move around Chuck Harper. Kenny Gosser starting up front, led the first couple of laps. And I tell you what, Gosser has been backsliding ever since. 1 lap to go for Super Booper Bears. He's in the lap traffic right now and heads down the back straightaway.
Bear drops into turn 3. Around the lap car to the outside. Nothing doing. He knows he's got the lead. He just got to hold on to it. Booper Bear at the checkers, taking home the third heat race win. Second place, McLaughlin. Third, Rod Conley. Fourth, Dave Groves. Nice run by Dave Groves. Fifth, Kenny Compton Jr. Sixth, Chuck Harper. Seventh, Jerry Bowersock. Eighth, Keith Berner. There you go, right there. Nice job.
Driver out of West Virginia driving in the earlier in the year. Then a guy from Ohio drove it, and then now a guy from Virginia's behind the wheel. If you're confused, I tell you, I'm confused too. Hey, Booper Bear, where in the heck you been all year?
I've been around, just hadn't been in this part of the country much.
I thought maybe you were still down on the farm.
No, we've been on the farm a little bit too, but I'd like to thank Brad Malcutt for giving me the opportunity to drive this car. Mark Richards and Steve Baker also had a hand in it. The guys from home that helped me on my cars are along this weekend, and all of Brad's guys, and the asset that everyone's put in really makes coming here in a 8-10 lap deal, and you win a heat race for a race this big, it makes you appreciate all the people that's behind you.
Hey, Booper, you've won here before. I remember talking with you in Victory Circle when it was so cold, everybody left. Even your crew went home that night, but think you can do it again tomorrow?
I think I've got a good enough car to do it with. If we make the right adjustments and stuff, I'd like to think I got a good opportunity.
Good luck to you.
Thank you. I'd like to thank all the people that come and supported this deal. With them having moved it, I'm sure that means an awful lot to Rick and Don Gross and all the people that's put an effort here.
All right, nice round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. out of Rockbridge, Bad Virginia, Cooper Bear usually drives the 00 car. Today, making his home in the 04 car. That car's had 3 or 4 different drivers here in 1998, guys.
This heat race has the big heavy hitters in it, as you can see, race fans. Hey, right up front you got Mike Wilson. Beside of him you got a 30-year veteran, Lynn Geisler. You got Bart Hartman, Steve Shaver, Mike Balzano, and Todd Andrews all up front. Back a little bit farther you got the Flintstone Flyer, and hey, how about the 100 of C.S. Fitzgerald? What a heat race this should be, race fans. Let us set the lineup for you right now.
All right, starting on the pole, in the 07, the Wilson-driven machine. In the 1CG in the second starting position, Lynn Geisler. Out inside, row number 2, out of Zanesville, Ohio, in the 75, Bart Hartman. Outside, row 2, in the 30, Steve Electric Shaver. Row 3 on the inside, your current Stars points leader out of Parkersburg, West Virginia in the E1, Mike Balzano. Outside of Balzano in the 6th starting position, the number 42, Eldred, Pennsylvania's own Todd Andrews.
Starting row 4 on the inside, you'll have West Burlington, Iowa's Johnny Johnson. Beside of him, the guy we just talked about. Starting beside, outside row number 4 will be C.S. Fitzgerald. Hey, on the inside of row number 5, Mineral Wells' own Jack Boggs' own car, the S4 of Mike Smith. Starting beside of him, hey, they call him the Caveman from Cowpen, South Carolina, the Flintstone Flyer of Mike Duvall. Up next will be the Bandit from Racine, Ohio, Bob Adams Jr. in the A55, the 00 of Gene Butler. Rounding out the field will be the E10, the Flying Doctor, Dr. Brian Eaton. 1M of Don Maloney, and Gaffney, South Carolina, Mike Galt. Here we go, green flag racing. Oh, we got a bunched up Harper, runs over the rear end of the 07. Looks like it's okay. Back up front, though, it looks like it's going to be Lynn Geisler. Hey, 100 C.F. Fitzgerald didn't like to start. He pulls up to the top of the track and stops. Caution flag waves. Caution flag.
Pit side, Todd, you're going to bring him to the stripe.
Here we come. Flagman looks him over. Wilson gets a jump. The green flag's out. Hartman goes to the inside one more time. Can't make it stick. Balzano, third place he goes. Boost to the high side. They're 3 wide in turn number 1. It's Lynn Geisler, Hartman to the bottom second. Steve Shaver third. Mike Balzano goes underneath of Todd Andrews, and Mike Wilson is ahead into turn number 3. Oh! Hartman gets into the back of Geisler, loops the car. The Flintstone Flyer taps the back of the 75. Bart Hartman loops the car in turns 3 and 4 and comes to rest.
Here, come on now. Don't start him this way. Come on, Mike. Get on the gas, baby. Get it out there. Let him out, Steve. Lynn Geisler takes the lead out of turn 1. Balzano in second. Shaver in third, Andrews fourth. Johnny Johnson in fifth. That's your top 5. Looking to complete lap number 1. Back out on the track, the Flintstone Flyer, Mike Duvall. Right now it looks like a session for education for him, as he has to start way in the back of this thing. Shaver to the inside of Balzano, nothing doing.
Back in the pack, Bart Hartman making his charge to the front, passing 4 cars on 1 lap. Now he looks to the low side of the S4, the Black Jack Boggs car of Michael Smith. He's got that position. Now he looks for more. Smith fights back on the outside. Great job. Bart Hartman now looks to the inside of Double J, Johnny Johnson. Johnson slams the door coming off of turn number 2. Back up front. You can throw a blanket over the top 4. And now Hartman gets by Double J, Johnny Johnson, moves into the 5th spot. Geisler, Balzano, and Geisler door to door. It's a dead heat at the flag stand. Who's it going to be coming off of turn 2? Balzano shoots to the low side, slides up a slide job, has the lead right now over Lynn Geisler, back for the 3rd, 4th position. The 30 of Steve Shaver and Todd Andrews are going at it.
Bart Hartman's joined the dance once again, race fans. Bart Hartman all the way from the tail. He's making his move. All over the backside of Todd Andrews as they go into turn one. Your leader, Mike Balzano, starting the checkout routine as he's got a 5-car length lead over Lynn Geisler, checking out of turn two. Andrews to the inside of Shaver. Shaver says, nothing doing, get it back, Todd. Todd with a slide job on Shaver. Taking the spot away as they come out of turn four, but Hartman slips underneath also. Hartman to the inside. Woo! What kind of racing we got here?
Bart Hartman on a man, on a mission, looks to the low side of Todd Andrews for that final transfer spot. He's got it. Bart Hartman has a rocket ship. What a battle right there. Those 4 cars, second through fifth. You can throw a blanket over. Lynn Geisler second, Bart Hartman third, Todd Andrews fourth, and Steve Electric Shaver fifth right now. Hartman looks to the inside of the 1C of Geisler. They're door-to-door coming out of turn two. Hartman with the advantage. Geisler fights back on the outside, but Hartman overpowers Lynn Geisler going into turn three for the second position.
Hartman cut through this field like a hot knife through butter. Unbelievable. All the way up to second, sets his sights on the back of Mike Balzano. But Balzano had nothing to do with everybody else. 8 car lengths to lead out of turn two. 7 laps down, this time by halfway. It's Balzano, Hartman, Andrews, and Lynn Geisler battling it out as Andrew takes the spot away on the inside. Shaver battles back to 5th. Mike Smith 6th, Johnny Johnson 7th. Bob Adams Jr. 8th, Gene Butler pulls it pit side. Must be mechanical failure. That's all you can look at this point because all the wheels are up on the double Zeeler Butler machine. Back up front. It's unbelievable, but Balzano is pulling away from Hartman, and Hartman is hooked up. Hartman in second. Shaver third in a battle. No, it's not Shaver. Check that. It's Andrews. Andrews, then Geisler, then Shaver. Man, it's going to be tough to see who's the last transfer in this heat.
Laps will go up on the board, this time by your leader, the Floodball Flyer, Mike Balzano. Second running Bart Hartman trying to close the gap, and he's doing so within about 6 or 7 car lengths now. Hartman closing the door on Balzano. Balzano going down the back straightaway, coming up on lap traffic now. Todd Andrews still your third place running car with Steve Shaver fourth, getting underneath of Lynn Geisler, who now runs fifth. They come off of turn 4. Look out, don't look in the rear view mirror, Mike Balzano, because Bart, the Bart man, is on a mission right now as he comes up on the lap car of front row starting Mike Wilson. 11 laps into the books, 3 to go this time by Mike Balzano, your leader. Coming up on the lap car of 1M Don Maloney. Hartman within 5 car lengths now. Right almost on the bumper now into turn number 1 is Hartman. Takes the low side, Balzano up high. 3 car lengths separating the top 2 cars.
Balzano worked his way around Don Maloney, sets his sight on Dr. Brian Eaton, working his way through lap traffic, but Hartman is coming. Hartman with a big-time charge from the tail to the front. Balzano to the inside of Dr. Brian Eaton, puts him a lap down. 13 laps down, 2 to go. Hartman to the inside to make up some more distance. It's Hartman in second with the charge on the backside of Balzano, but Balzano stretches the lead out down the backstretch. It's Balzano, Hartman. Hartman closes in the turn. In third, there's your battle again. It's Andrews. Andrews weaving his way through lap traffic. 1 to go as the leaders take the white flag. Balzano with pressure all over the backside of him, coming from the Zanesville native, Bart Hartman.
What a run by Bart Hartman, coming from the tail at 15 laps up to second position, whether you like him or not. What a drive he had, but here comes your winner, the Floodball Flyer E1. Mike Balzano takes the win. Bart Hartman finishes second. Third place will be Todd Andrews, fourth Steve Shaver, and fifth Lynn Geisler. Sixth place runner will be the S4 of Mike Smith. Seventh place Johnny Johnson. Eighth will be the A55 of Bob Adams, who started on the tail.
That sail you had to win on your back.
Yeah, the car is pretty decent. I think we need to do a little more work to it before the 100 lapper tomorrow, but I think we'll be okay.
Mike, do you think the car just got quicker or got a little bit slower as the race went on that time? What did it feel like to you?
No, it stayed about the same, but I think we can make it a little better. I think we're going to have to be able to run up front tomorrow.
You got a lot of laps around West Virginia Motor Speedway. What's some of the things you maybe tell the competition, maybe what you like to do maybe to the car? What do you need to do to get faster to this race car?
Well, I can't tell you that. I want to keep them behind me.
Oh, come on. I won't tell nobody.
Yeah, I hear you.
Hey, good luck, Mike.
Thanks.
Nice round of applause for Mike Balzano, ladies and gentlemen. Picks up the win.
Now for the Scott Performance Wire Bonus Heat Race, sponsored by Scott Performance Wire of Warminster, Pennsylvania. The Scott Performance Wire Heat Race bonus winner will receive $50 for the win, provided the winner meets the requirements of the Scott Performance Wire Heat Race bonus program. If the winner does not meet the requirements, the next scheduled Scott Performance Wire Heat Race will be worth $100 to the winner. Scott Performance Wire of Warminster, Pennsylvania, providing the winning spark to racers nationwide. Todd, give us that lineup.
Here we go. The lineup for the 5th heat race will look like this. Starting on the pole will be young Lance Elson in the 17E. Beside of him, Hacks on the inside. Row number 2, the 68, the Hitman, Western West Virginia's Tim Hitt. Starting beside of him from St. Clairsville, Ohio, in the T8, Mark Bunnell. Starting in the 3rd row on the inside, the sprint car driver, the 48F of Charlie Fisher. Starting outside 3rd row in the 6th position will be Zanesville, Ohio's the 12A of Rick Auckland. Starting on the 4th row on the inside, the 75G of Mopar, this is Don Gross. Outside him, row number 4, all the way from Green Bay, Wisconsin, the 10P of Pete Parker.
Starting in the 9th position at 27, all the way from North Carolina, Ray Tucker. In a 10th position, the 10B, Coolville's own, the Cigar Kid. No, that's his brother. This is Larry Bond. In the 11th starting spot, the 12G, Ray Gus. Starting 12th, the 83 R of Scott Rhodes. 13th, the 9C of Crawford, the 74 Smith, and the 7M of McDougal round out the field.
Some $50,000 richer, the 68 from last weekend. As we get set to go green flag here, they come off turn 4. Green flag waves. Steve Francis, your early leader, going into turn number 1. Tim Hitt looks to the bottom. Lance Elson hangs on to that 2nd position right now. Hitt looks to the bottom. Oh, we've got cars together, a tangle between Rick Auckland and Charlie Fisher, but they keep right on trucking. They lose about 5 positions apiece. Auckland all over the 12 of Ray Gus now on the bottom of the racetrack as we complete lap number 1, a wild lap number 1 on the backshoot between Auckland and the 48 of Fisher. Steve Francis with a big lead already, out to a 10-car length lead with 2 laps in the books. Lance Elson holding down the 3rd position. What a great run so far for him. Mad Mark Bunnell up to the 4th position. Hey, Larry Bond, Rick Auckland battling it out back here for about the 8th or 9th position. Auckland wins that battle right now as they head into turn number 1.
Francis knows he's got to make a charge and start up front in this 100-lap event. He's got 100 points to make up on Mike Balzano in the feature event to get the points lead back to make him a 3-time Stars National Champion with 2 more races to go on the circuit. The first way to do it is to win this heat. Timmy Hitt holds on to 2nd. Lance Elson with the run of his life in 3rd. The 17 of Elson holding on to 3rd. Mark Bunnell 4th. Pete Parker 5th. That's your top 5 through 3 laps. This time by Francis underneath the flag stand. Makes it 4 laps down. 4 laps down and 11 to go. Back in the pack, Auckland fighting Ray Tucker for every inch of racetrack. Auckland trying to make up as much space as he can. Back up front, Francis checking out. Once again, as the leaders have done in these heats, they have checked out, but sometimes the track has come back to the people following them and made a great race out of it. 2nd place being held on to by Timmy Hitt. The Hitman, $55,000 richer after that Tampa shootout win last week. In Woodstock, Georgia, Lance Elson holding on to 3rd. Mark Bunnell 4th. checking in on Rick Auckland. Auckland still making slow progress, but he is moving towards the front.
Give a call to the 75 of Don Gross right now, up to the 5th position. Don Gross making a great run from about midway back in the pack. Getting ready to challenge the T8 of Mad Mark Manel. Gross followed closely by the 10 of Pete Parker. And how about the 12? Rick Auckland battling his way back up to the front after that first lap altercation, losing 6 or 7 positions. Now battling for about the 7th position. Rick Auckland back up front. Steve Francis having his way with the field right now. Tim Hitt with a comfortable lead over second. And how about young Lance Elson in 3rd place right now? Hey, he's got a straightaway lead over Mad Mark Manel. 75 Don Gross coming up on the rear bumper of the T8 now. Rick Auckland looking to the inside of Pete Parker. He's going to take that position away as they come by for the 8th lap are in the book. 8 laps in the book.
Auckland now in the 7th spot sets his sights on the 75 of Don Gross. Gross all over the backside of Manel coming out of turn 2. Back up front, it's Francis. Timmy Hitt. Lance Elson. Elson holding on to that final transfer spot with 9 laps down. It's Manel, Gross, and Auckland. And Auckland's car's starting to work. He's starting to get what he needs out of the car. It may be too little too late. He let it drift that time. Cut the corner back underneath the backside of Gross. Back up front. 10 laps down. 10 laps down, and Francis holding on to a 10-car length lead over Timmy Hitt. The battle's going to be for the final transfer spot as Elson holds on to it, and the back runners are charging. Auckland around Don Gross out of turn 2. Auckland making a charge, sets the crosshairs on the back of the T8 of Mark Manel. Todd, this looks like it could be a race here coming to the end.
We'll see if Auckland has enough laps. There's only 3 laps remaining in this heat race. Rick Auckland up to 5th position now. Now has his sights set on 4th place running Mark Manel. Lance Elson having a little trouble getting around the 7 of Chad McDougal now. McDougal lap car. Elson backs way off, trying to find a way. This allows Manel and Auckland to close in. They come around. 2 laps to go. 2 to go. Steve Francis already on the backstretch, putting some lap cars between himself and 2nd place running Tim Hitt. 2 cars in between 1st place running Steve Francis and Tim Hitt. We come around, we've got 2 laps to go. Rick Auckland still trying to make a move on the T8. Mark Manel, Elson, Lance Elson holding his own, keeping that slight advantage over Mad Mark Manel. Tim Hitt takes it in, or Steve Francis into turn number 3. He will see the white flag this time by a half a straightaway lead over 2nd running Tim Hitt as we come around for the final lap of this 4th, 5th heat race with Steve Francis leading down the back straightaway.
Francis holds that 10-car length lead down the backstretch. They make it 20-car lengths as Timmy Hitt just exits turn 2. Francis out of turn 4 down the front stretch. Checkers wave all over the 15. Ashland, Kentucky native. Steve Francis wins heat race number 5. Timmy Hitt 2nd. Here's your battle for 3rd in the final transfer spot. Looks like Lance Elson's got enough to hold on. What a shot! 4th held on to by Mark Manel. 5th. Rick Auckland 6th. Don Gross. 6th place, Don Gross with a great run. We'll have to check this.
Breakies the last 8 or so races. Congratulations, Steve.
Yeah, you know, the car was really good. This is a brand new race car. We just finished it up there last night down at Mark Richards Rocket Chassis. We just finished it about 10 o'clock last night and brought it out here, and, you know, it was real good right out of the box.
You know, you've got more on the line tomorrow. You've got the $25,000 to win this Thunder in the Mountains. Also, points racing gets kind of tough when you try to do both, doesn't it?
Yeah, you know, Mike's done an excellent job this year. He's run really good. He's finished all the races. And I think me and him, if I couldn't win it, I'd just soon him win it. And I think he feels the same way about me.
What about the car? Any major changes tonight, or pretty much just put it back in a box and put it to sleep?
Well, like I say, it's a new car, so we're going to go over everything, make sure, you know, we got everything done, and we'll put it away and see what they do at the racetrack tomorrow.
Good luck to you tomorrow.
Thank you, Pete.
Hey, Steve Francis, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you what. $25,000 or more. They're points racing. $25,000 to the national champion of stars, and a lot of goodies in that goodie bag.
Line up. Your sixth and final heat race for this afternoon, and heading into the early evening, you can see the beautiful sun setting over turn number 4 here. Hey, that's got to be a little bit tough for the drivers, Doc, going into turn 3 right now.
Well, the track is much different now as the shade has covered half the speedway, a little bit more than half the speedway, as it's covered the entrance to turn 3 and the exit of turn 1. The whole front stretch is under a blanket. But let's talk about this lineup. On the pole out of Ravenswood, West Virginia, in the 32H, Scott Ravenswood Flash Hartley. Outside, row number 1. In the 33, Aaron Scott.
Up next, row number 2, look like it's Louisville, Kentucky, Scotty Earl. Starting beside of him, outside row number 2, the Patriot, Greg Mitchell in the 001.
Row number 3, how many times could this ever happen in your life? Brother by brother. Davey Johnson in the 48J on the inside, Mike Johnson on the outside in the 2J.
Up next, outside, on the inside of row number 4, the Cigar Kid with 15 feature wins this year in the A10, Andy Bond. Beside of him, the number 5H from Charleston, West Virginia, Doug Hall.
In the 11S, Chris Stotts, the 01 of Rodney Franklin, the 5B of Lou Braddis, the Kenny Lamb, Barry Bragdon, Clark, and Bartels. The California driver pulls up the tail. The green drops one more time. This is it for heat number 6 as Hartley leads him into turn 1. What a charge by Davey Johnson! Davey to the inside, all the way to second, out of turn 2.
Davey Johnson, hey, we've got a caution flag.
Mitchell in row 2, Hartley and Scott in row 1. Hartley's going to pace him to it. A little better start this time. You know, these guys, my man Gary Stoller, don't let it start bad starts go, and they're coming to the line. It's Hartley, and they jump again. Let's see if it lets it go. Aaron Scott got a bad start. Aaron Scott with a bad start. Lets it go. Davey Johnson to the inside. Johnson all the way up to second, a repeat. Oh my gosh, the Cigar Kid. Problems on the backstretch.
The Virginia Leadfoot Rodney Franklin having trouble coming out of turn number 2, sliding against the outside retaining wall down the back straightaway.
But here we go. The Ravenswood Flash brings them to the line. Looking for a better start this time. It's Flash and Scott. There you go. Scott to the outside. Hartley to the inside. Hartley at the flag stand. Hartley into turn 1. Davey Johnson got another good start. But we'll see what happens as things feather out. Johnson to the inside again. But Scott slams the door. Scott slams the door out of turn 2. And Mike Johnson battling to the backside of Earl. Scotty Earl to the inside. They're all slowing it down. Back up front, it's Scott Hartley. 2, 3, 4 car lengths at the flag stand. Davey Johnson all over the outside of Aaron Scott. Johnson still cutting his way across the guardrail, looking for the easy way around. Scott says nothing doing, we shut it down. Tons of smoke pouring out of the land machine. Back up front, Todd, she's all yours for now.
3 wide in turns 3 and 4. It's Mike Johnson, Scotty Earl, and Doug Hall. 3 wide off of turn 4. It's Johnson taking the advantage. Up front, it's still Scott Hartley. Aaron Scott. Now Davey Johnson looks to the bottom coming out of turn number 2. They're side by side into turn number 3. Davey Johnson with the advantage. Scott fights back on the outside. They come off of turn number 4. Davey Johnson will take over the second position, moving Scott back to the third position. Hey, back in the pack, it's Andy Bond. The 001, Greg Mitchell in the 44, Scotty Earl doing battle once again. Earl slides to the high side, Bond in the middle. Here comes Mitchell on the bottom. They're 2 wide. Oh, Bond pinches off Mitchell coming out of turn number 2. Back up front, Davey Johnson has caught your race leader, Scott Hartley, as they head into turn number 1.
Hartley home on to the nearest advantage as Davey Johnson does the inside. Johnson takes the lead away. Out of turn 2, it's Johnson by half a car length down the backstretch over Hartley. Up into the wall. Oh my gosh, all over the concrete. Managed to make it good. The 11 of Lamb. Oh my gosh, is he in trouble with smoke spews for both sides of the machine? Back up front. Davey Johnson holds to the inside, looks to make the lead 5 car lengths as they exit turn 2. Scott Hartley in second, and Aaron Scott has a whole rear view mirror of Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson all over the backside of Scott as they enter turn 3. Mike Johnson looking for that third and final transfer spot. This time by 6 laps down, 9 to go. Davey Johnson pulling out to a 5-car length lead over the Ravenswood Flash of Scott Hartley. The battle for the transfer spot heats up. 2 car lengths and getting narrow as Scott's in front of Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson pulls up to the backside as he dives into turn 3. Johnson holds it, coming out of turn 4. Mike Johnson and Scott battling for it right here at the flag stand. 7 laps down. Back up front, Davey Johnson. 10 car lengths, the lead over Scott Hartley. Back in the back. The 0-1 of the Virginia Leadfoot making his way up to the front after he had to start from the tail after that first lap miscue. Making time, but it's just like everything else, not enough time when the laps are clicking off. But we do have a caution on the speedway.
Daytona 500, Daytona Pepsi 400 under the lights tonight at Daytona Speedway.
You might be doing that, Tom, but I got to do a little fishing before I do that, and may have to listen to a little bit of it. Here we are, right to the cone is Davey Johnson. Johnson, Hartley, and Mike Johnson does the inside of Aaron Scott. Johnson, the 2J, nothing happening as Aaron Scott says, hey, back off, Jack. I got the spot right now. You're going to have to earn it. Mitchell and Andy Bond battle out of turn 2, and Lee Brothers on the outside of that. Barry Bragdon watching, waiting patiently there. This time by halfway, 8 laps gone.
Some great racing back in the pack with 001 Greg Mitchell, 77 Bragdon now joins the crowd. Lou Bradich gets slid back another spot. Andy Bond takes advantage of Doug Hall's little mishap in turn 2 and takes over that 5th position. Andy Bond may be on a charge to the front. He has 6 laps to pass. 2 more cars for the 3rd and final transfer spot. Back up front and still Davey Johnson stretching out his advantage to about 12 car lengths over second running Scott Hartley. Aaron Scott still 3rd. Mike Johnson could not do anything with Aaron Scott. I thought he might have had something for him, but he hasn't showed it yet. Come by this time, we have 5 laps to go. Doug Hall out of turn 4 running way, way high, coming off of turn number 4. This battle back here once again, the 5 and the 001 of Greg Mitchell. What a battle they've had all race long. Mitchell gets way loose this time. Bradish takes advantage and takes the spot away as they try to work their way to the front. Doug Hall still running up against the guardrail in turns 3 and 4 with no successes. Bragdon is looking to the bottom of the 5 of Doug Hall. Back up front, Davey Johnson continues to stretch his lead out over the 32, the Ravenswood Flash of Scott Hartley. Aaron Scott now having his way with Mike Johnson, and he stretches out to about a 6 car length advantage over 4th place running Mike Johnson.
Davey Johnson having his way there. Scott Hartley holding on to second, and Mike Johnson going to make a final charge here. He may be running out of laps. Aaron Scott holds on. Ever so close. Ever so close. He holds on to this thing right now. It's Davey Johnson with 13 in the book, 2 to go. Scott Hartley, and here's your charge from Mike Johnson. Johnson to the inside. The tires might be hot. He might be able to get a bite off. This is the battle for the last transfer spot to lock himself in to the Mars. Simonton, Windows Thunder in the Mountains 100. Johnson to the inside, this time by Davey Johnson takes the white flag. 1 to go in the 6th and final heat race, setting the stage for 18 locked-in positions for tomorrow's Simonton Windows Thunder in the Mountains 100. Johnson dives to the inside on turn 4. It's all his, round Bartles. Bartles leaves him room to run. It's Davey Johnson at the checkers. Davey takes the win. Scott Hartley comes in second. Aaron Scott third, Mike Johnson fourth. What a run by Aaron Scott. Fifth place taken by Andy Bond. Sixth, Barry Bragdon. Seventh, Doug Hall.
Final jockey out of New Alexander, Pennsylvania, Davy Johnson. Davy, congratulations winning that last and final event.
Yeah, we didn't qualify as well as we wanted. Missed a little bit there, but car's pretty good.
Davey, you know, sun went down. The racetrack seemed to get any faster. The car seemed to work just about the same. Or do you think the sun and the hot weather conditions might play a hamper to this racetrack tomorrow? You've been around this thing for a long time.
It started changing there. I didn't figure it'd change, but it started getting some rubber down. The place might be faster than anybody thinks tomorrow.
So you think maybe when the sun's up and the sun goes down, it's definitely going to be two different racetracks maybe?
I think just all the running, getting all the loose stuff off of there and getting it down to the real hard stuff. If it gets rubbered up here, you'll see the fastest racetrack ever.
Make many changes to the race car before this heat race. I know you had a chance to watch all 5 heat races. Just pretty much dialed in what you thought and went with it?
Yeah, right after qualifying, we knew we was off some. We knew what to do. We did it, stuck the tires on it, and went.
I'll tell you what, you've been in victory circle here before. You hold the track record. Best of luck to you tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Davy Johnson, ladies and gentlemen, out of New Alexander, Pennsylvania. He wins our last and final heat race of the night. Back up to you guys.
By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Here we go, race fans. The Iski Racing Cams Dash. The Dash event is being sponsored by Iski Racing Cams of Gardena, California. The Iski Racing Cams Dash winner will receive $100 cash. For his efforts provided, the Iski Racing Cams Dash winner meets the requirements of the Iski Racing Cams Dash program. Iski Racing Cams of Gardena, California, the leader of motorsports racing cams. And here's your lineup. On the pole, out of Weston, West Virginia, in the 68, Tim the Hitman Hit. Outside, row 1, out of Zanesville, Ohio, in the 75, Bert Hartman.
Starting on the second row on the inside, Brasstown, North Carolina's Ray Cook in the 53 car. Starting beside of him, one of the racing collies from Wheelersburg, Ohio in the 71R, this is Rod Conley.
Row 3 on the inside, in the 19 out of Greencastle, Pennsylvania, Gary Stuhler.
Bringing up the rear, our fast qualifier out of 93 late models yesterday from Ashflat, Arkansas, the G1 of David Gibson. Sit back and pick yourself a winner as we get set to go Dash Racing. 6 hard laps. As we said, this will determine who will start up front. How they finish is how they'll start the 100-lapper here today. Doc Sheddy.
How about a backstretch? Give it to him. Raise those hands. That's what you came for.
What a beautiful sight heading into turn number 3. 6 fast cars going 6 fast laps. Here they come off of turn number 4. Doc, bring them to us.
Hit on the pole. Hartman to the outside. They'll bring it to the line. They're on the gas. Green flag in the air. We're racing to West Virginia Motor Speedway. Hit to the inside. Hartman to the outside. Hartman dives to the middle. It's Hartman and Hit. Door handle to door handle coming out of turn 2. Hartman noses ahead down the backstretch, and the fans go wild.
What a great race. What a popular leader right now. Bart, the Bartman Hartman, really putting it on him right now. Has about a 2-car length advantage over the Hitman, Tim Hitt. The racetrack is definitely real smooth today. As you can see, the car just gliding around the turns. Hey, this track will turn real black today.
David Gibson, your fast qualifier in yesterday's hot laps and yesterday's time trial session, getting around Rod Conley back up front at the flag stand. 2 laps in the book. Hartman still taking charge with a 4-car length lead over the Hitman, Timmy Hitt. Third place being brought up by Ray Cook. Fourth, Gary Stuhler. Gibson still holds a 1-car advantage over Rod Conley, holding on to the 5th position.
Hartman dives into turn number 3 as he knows his racetrack very well and drifts up off of turn number 4. He'll come by, the cross flags are out. 3 laps down and 3 laps to go. Hartman takes it through the middle of turns 1 and 2, drifts up high just a little bit. Tim Hitt pushing his car for all it's worth. Third Ray Cook not letting the second place running Tim Hitt out of his sight. A distant 4th is Gary Stuhler, and even further back is David Gibson and Rod Conley. After lap number 4, it's still Bart Hartman stretching out his lead right now.
Race fans, you'll notice that Bart Hartman is taking different lines around this racetrack, trying to find out where the 75 car is good. These are the only laps they get on the racetrack before it happens. Flagman Gary Stuhler with the white flag in the air, indicating 1 lap to go in the ISTE Racing Camp's Fast Dash here today. Hartman underneath the flag stand, 7 car lengths to lead over Timmy Hitt. Ray Cook putting pressure on Hitt through turn 1. Cook separates it after going out of turn 2. Back down the backstretch. 3 car lengths to lead over Ray Cook. Back up front, here's your leader coming out of turn 4. Bart Hartman, the Zanesville, Ohio native, takes the checkers in the win. Timmy Hitt 2nd, Ray Cook 3rd. Gary Stuhler 4th. David Gibson takes home 5th, and Rod Conley 6th.
Today. Right now we're going to go down trackside with Pete Secret with our winner. Take it away, Pete.
Well, thank you. You know, I've interviewed a bunch of people up in the stands all morning long, and the word is this black number 75, someone's got to lasso it quick. And I tell you what, in this dash here looked real strong. Congratulations, Bart.
Well, thanks. We changed a few things right before we came out here, and we just trying some stuff early on in the race, and the car's working pretty good.
You know, you're going to be sitting now for the next hour and a half or so. Any changes? Just going to see what happens in all the 3B mains coming up.
Probably just watch the main, see if the track picks up, how the groove goes, but we'll probably leave her alone right now.
I'll tell you what, you look super fast. Good luck to you, man.
Thank you.
Hey, Bart Hartman, the 75 car, looked real fast here in this the dash.
Transferring to the feature will receive points towards the Pro Shocks B Main Points Fund. Pro Shocks, an industry leader in racing suspension technology. Well, Todd, the lineup goes as this. It's going to be one heck of a race. The first of 25 laps will come when Gary Stuhler drops the green. Outside, row number 1 in the second starting position. Out of Parkersburg, West Virginia, in the 30, Steve Shaver.
Up next, row 2 looks like this. Young Courtney Cleanwell from Cambridge, Ohio, in the 12C. Starting beside of him, a 30-year veteran of the Dirt Wars from Pennsylvania, the 1CG of Lynn Geisler.
Row 3, on the inside, Dick Barton in the 28B. Outside of him in the S4, Mike Smith.
Row 4 looks like this. On the inside, the 5N of Ryan Markham. Beside of him, the Iowa driver, the 99J of Johnny Johnson.
In a nice starting position in 2014, Nathan Darabro. In a 10th starting position, Bob Adams Jr. in the A55.
Next row looks like this, row 6. On the inside, the 1S of Clint Smith. Beside of him, the black number 17 of Mike Galt.
In the 17th, Troutman starts in the 13th position. Dr. Brian Eaton in the 14th position in the E10.
Row 8 shapes up like this. The H7, the Mount Airy, North Carolina driver of Phil Hall. Beside of him, hey, first time in a late model here, Parkersburg, West Virginia's Don Maloney in the 1M.
17th starter out of Indiana, Mitchell, Indiana's own. In the 75J, John Gill. Out row, positions number 18, Mike Wilson in the 07.
Next row looks like this. The purple and yellow number 80 of Brian During. Beside of him, the 00B of Gene Butler.
Rick DeLong starts in the 21st position. Mike Duval is a scratch. In the 23rd position, Jeff Burdett. And rounding out the field out of Lexington, Virginia, in the 100 machine, C.S. Fitzgerald. There's your starting lineup for the first Pro Shocks B main here this afternoon. 25 laps the distance.
And a Cowboy starting way back towards the back. The 75 Mitchell, Indiana's John Gill. As we get set to go, green flag racing. Gary Sawyer has green in the air. And here we go into turn number 1. No surprise, Steve Schaefer jumps out to the early lead here, starting lap number 1. Lynn Geiser makes a move on the inside, coming off of turn number 2 over David Williams. Our pole sitter, Williams, shoved back to the 3rd position right now. Mike Smith working the outside very, very well. Comes to the bottom, a big crash in turn number 3. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars involved. Jeff Burdett, Clint Smith, Brian Eaton, Don.
It'll be Williams and Shaver bringing them to the stripe. Nice and easy, boys, nice and easy. Mash the gas, it's time to rock and roll here, West Virginia Motor Speedway. Green flag waves one more time. Shaver does the same as he did last time on the start. Dives to the outside, takes the middle, comes out of turn 2 with the lead. The 17 car putting on a dive as he goes to the outside, all over the backside of Lynn Geisler. Shaver at the flag stand leads lap 1. David Williams holds on to second, Lynn Geisler third.
This time, David Williams not letting the 1CG of Lynn Geiser get with him, get underneath of it, and David Williams running a second spot right now. No surprise up front, Steve Shaver having his way with the field so far with 2 laps in the books as he comes across the stripe this time by. A great job of driving by the black number 17 of Gaffney, South Carolina's Mike Galt, using the higher line. What a great start he had, starting back in the 10th position up to 4th place right now, getting by the 28C of Dick Barton from New York. As we complete lap number 3, Steve Shaver with about a 15-car length advantage already over second place running David Williams. Right now, he's got his hands full with the 1CG of Lynn Geisler.
Caution waves on the speedway, caution on the speedway.
Jeff Leader, Steve Shaver, David Williams, and Lynn Geisler. Mike Galt caught asleep back into 4th position, losing about 4 car lengths to the 3rd place running Lynn Geisler. We'll see if he can make that up. Geisler now with the move on the 25 of David Williams, gets underneath to take the transfer spot away from the young Maryland driver. Lynn Geisler up to 2nd place right now. He will be in your 100-lap main event if he can stay there. Now the black 17 of Gaffney, South Carolina's Mike Galt trying to make a move also on the number 25 of David Williams as they head into turn number 1. Here comes Dick Barton on the inside of Galt now. Still up front, Steve Shafer, your leader, heading into turn number 3 as he comes around to take lap number 5.
David Williams just holding on to his own in 3rd position. Only the top 2 transfer to the Simonton Windows Thunder in the Mountains 100 here today. Shaver out front by 10 car lengths over Lynn Geisler. Geisler holds on to that 2nd position with 10 car lengths the difference over him in third position. David Williams. Galt and Dick Barton battling it out with Mike Smith joining the fray. Cautions may play an important role here in this 25-lap B main. C.S. Fitzgerald continues to move towards the front. 25 laps, may not be enough for the Lexington, Virginia driver to get into the show, but he's going to do it best he can. Driving the middle of the track right now. Shaver holding the same line around as he holds on to the lead, this time by 7 laps in the book.
Still your leader, Steve Shaver, heads into turn 1, drifts the car up to the middle of the racetrack, heads off turn 2 with about a 15 or 16 car length advantage over second running Lynn Geiser. Geiser with about the same advantage over the third running David Williams. The racetrack starting to blacken up just a little bit as we head into the 8th lap of this first B-main event here at the West Virginia Motor Speedway. A battle for the 5th position right now. Dick Barton and Mike Galt going at it right now in turn number 1. Looks like the low line being the way around this racetrack in this first Pro Shocks B-main event here this afternoon. C.S. Fitzgerald definitely needs a caution flag for him to move up to try to get to the front to make the 100-lap event. Passing 4 cars so far with 9 laps in the books. Some of the other notables in this race, the 24, Nathan Durbrow, he's running about 7th position right now. Front row starter in the first heat race, the H7, Phil Hall, not doing too well either in this first B-main event. As we complete lap number 10, your leaders, Steve Shaver, stretching out his advantage, drifting way up against the cushion, almost to the wall. Shaver trying some different lines here in this B-main event.
Mike Smith's car's coming to him, and the track's coming to the S4. All over the backside of Dick Barton in the 28B. Nothing doing. Looks like he brushed the wall on the backstretch. Car looks to be okay. Back up front, Steve Shaver's having it his way. No contenders for the leader at this time. 11 laps down, 14 to go. Lynn Geisler holds on to second. The field is spread out. The leaders have checked out on the rest of this first of 3 Pro Shocks B-mains here this afternoon. Nobody wants to take a chance, Todd. Everybody's sitting down by the guardrail.
You'd think the guys in the back would want to try and move up, try different lines. They really don't have anything to lose right here. Positions doesn't matter. They're only taking the top 2. They need to try a different line around this racetrack. It looks like it's starting to move up just a little bit here down in turns 1 and 2. Turns 3 and 4 is sticking right to the bottom. Looks like there might be a second group in the makings down here in turns 3 and 4.
Brian Dirk just made a move to the high side, and he's finding it to his liking. Let's see what happens to him. He's way back in the field, but at least he's taking some chances. Back up front, Shaver puts a lap at the flag stand on Gene Butler. Gene Butler of the 00 machine goes 1 lap down. Shaver holds on to a curve length lead here with 14 laps in the book. 14 down, back in the pack. The battle there for the 4th position. Dick Barton still chasing the 17 of Galt. David Williams holding on to 3rd. Back up front. Shaver exiting turn 2 as Geisler enters turn 1. That's the lead right there. He's really hooked up. Yesterday he either missed the setup in his heat race or he chose the wrong tires. But he is a contender here today. Steve Shaver, fast and furious. This time by 16 laps gone.
C.S. Fitzgerald making a move, trying to get underneath the 5M, back in the pack here, Ryan Martin, to no avail. Fitzgerald not moving up through the pack like we thought he might. Steve Shaver coming up to some of the back markers. He is in a hurry, on a tear so far as he completes lap number 17 laps into the books. He's coming up on heavy traffic. A straightaway lead over second place running Lynn Geisler. Geiser just now coming up on the lap car of 00 Gene Butler. Third running David Williams still about 15 car lengths back of second place running Lynn Geisler. But the battle is for the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th position. Mike Galt, Dick Barton, Mike Smith, and Nate Durbrow. What a show they're putting on for the fans here right now as we complete lap number 18. Galt, Barton, Smith, and Durbrow come off of turn number 4. You can throw a blanket over those 4 cars right now.
And talking about that battlefield hall. All the way up here from North Carolina, getting ready to jump into that to make it a 5-car battle for that position. 19 laps down, 6 remain. 6 remain. Your leader, Steve Shaver, weaving his way through lap traffic. He's finding it to his liking as he goes high and low and weaves in and out, making the pass. A close call there. Brian Doug puts him a lap down at the flag stand. 20 laps down. 20 down, 5 to go. That battle back in the pack is heated up once more. Phil Hall still looking at the back of Nathan Durbro. Durbro's cooled off a little bit, but dives into the bottom of Mike Smith as they enter turn 1. It's Galt, Barton, Mike Smith, and Nathan Durbro with the tobacco special of Phil Hall in tow. 21 laps down. The leader sets his sights on John Gill. John Gill, 21 laps into this race, could be headed to go a lap down to the leader, Steve Shaver.
John Gill seeing Steve Shaver in his rearview mirror, trying to put a move on the 100 of CS Fitzgerald. Gill having problems all weekend long with smoke coming from the cars as he gets off the throttle going into the turn. Now Gill gets under the 100 of CS Fitzgerald. Right behind him, here he comes, Steve Shaver. Coming around, he see the 2 laps to go signal. Shaver with some heavy hitters right in front of him with 2 laps to go. We'll see how he gets through this traffic here as he takes to the high side of CS Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald has no part of it. John Gill passing another car, turning up the wick as seeing Shaver coming up on his back deck lid. Shaver hauls it into turn 3, still on the high side of Fitzgerald, trying to get around on the outside. He'll come by. He'll see the white flag this time by. Shaver needs to back off and just take the win because the 1CG of Lynn Geyser is about a straightaway or more behind. But Shaver says, no, I'm going to pass everybody I can. Gets by the 100 and gets by the 5. He's coming around for the checkered flag right now.
Here's your leader coming out of turn 4. Steve Shaver out of Parkersburg, West Virginia. The checkers drop on the 30 Simonton window special of Steve Electric Shaver. In second, in the 1 machine, Lynn Geisler. David Williams will pick up third in the 25 machine. It will be Galt, Dick Barton, Mike Smith, Nathan Durbo, Phil Hall.
Of the evening. Hey, Steve, congratulations. Real quick, getting ready for that second one on the back chute. Racetrack starting to develop a matter of fact its own personality right now. We saw you running the bottom of the racetrack. That seemed to be the quicker way around. Do you think the top will come back?
It might, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen for quite a while. But I hope it gets multi-grooved by the end of the third consi before we start the feature.
I'll tell you what, good luck to you. I know you got some changes to make to the race car for the A-main coming up. Congratulations, you're going to the big dance.
Thank you.
Hey, the Simonton Windows number 30 to the A-main event.
Pennsylvania's Rick Eckert starting beside of him. A good starting spot for this gentleman. St. Clairsville, Ohio is the T8 of Mark Bunnell.
Starting third out of Danville, Illinois, in the 32 machine, Bob the Cool World Pierce. 24th, formerly out of Fargo, North Dakota, now hails from Zanesville, Ohio, in the 12, Rick Auckland.
Starting on the third row on the inside, Millersburg, Ohio, he calls home. This is Racing John Mason in the 72 car. Starting beside of him, another fellow Ohioan. This is ageless veteran, the 75, the Mopar man from Wooster, Ohio, Don Gross.
Starting 7th in the 04, Bob Close. Starting 8th in the 12G, Ray Gus.
Starting in the 5th row on the inside, the decal man they call him, the 93X of John Flinner. Starting beside of him, Coolville, Ohio's one of the racing bonds. This is Larry Bond.
Starting 11th in the 83R, Scott Rhodes, starting 12th in the B1. Out of Shinston, West Virginia, Steve Baker.
The next row shapes up like this, all the way from Kokani, Wisconsin. That's right around Green Bay, Wisconsin. The 10P of Pete Parker. Starting beside of him from Ohio, the number 12S of Brian Stinson.
In the next row on the inside, in the 27, Ray Tucker. Outside, Ray Tucker. In the 4-car, Ed Faree.
Up next, the sprint car driver driving Donnie Moran's car, the 48F of Charlie Fisher. Starting beside of him, Fairmont, West Virginia, is the 18 of Robbie Scott.
Jim Zarin in the 1Z, the 9C of Crawford. And we bring him to the line. It's Eckert and Bunnell. Bunnell got the advantage at the flag stand as the green flags here at West Virginia Motor Speedway. Bunnell the advantage into turn 1. Lets the car drift high. Auckland looking for a hole as he comes out. But it's Eckert out of turn 2. Bunnell back on the outside. 3 wide racing all over the backstretch. Charlie Fisher. And Robbie Scott get together coming out of turn 2. Melee on the inside guardrail just in front of the... Watch them close as they head for the stripe coming out of turn 4. On the gas one more time. Green flag flies one more time here at West Virginia Motor. Bunnell to the outside. And look at Rick Auckland. Auckland around Eckert. A pinch job on Eckert. Eckert gets pinched off to the backside. Bunnell holds on the lead into turn 3. We talked about Auckland here earlier. Watch him. He is smooth here at West Virginia. Bunnell holds a 3-car length advantage at the flag stand. Followed by the 12 of Auckland. Auckland doing everything he can to find some bite for that right rear. Eckert's been shuffled back to 4th position.
No luck for the 24-car Rick Eckert so far. Had a good start on the very first start that we had, only to have caution come out. This time, Mark Bunnell, the T8, the St. Clairsville driver, gets a jump and has a 2-car length race now. Rick Auckland closes right up to the deck lid of the T8, but Bunnell pulls away as we're 2 laps into this right now. The tall, cool one, Bob Pierce, runs 3rd. Eckert starting to fade just a little bit in 4th position, and Don Gross, the Mopar-powered machine, running into 5th position right now.
Auckland closing in on the back of Bunnell as they enter the flag stand area. Bob Pierce takes the inside line. He's in 3rd. Pierce looks to go to the inside of Auckland. Can't make the car stick. The 24, the Ray Vest Excavating Special, is fading in 4th. But Racing John Mason and Don Gross are wanting to make the dance. Watch this. These cars are starting to get better. Bunnell stretches the lead out at the flag stand to 3-car lengths over Auckland. Pierce looks to the inside of Auckland in turn 1. Back in the pack, the racing is fast and furious. Back up front. Bunnell, 2-car lengths to lead, but Pierce is all over the backside of Rick Auckland. And now Rick Eckert starting to have the car starting to come to him in the track as he closes in. Don Gross follows behind in 5th position, and Racing John Mason's in 6th. Into turn 1, Bunnell holds the ever slightest advantage over Rick Auckland, and Auckland's fighting off the challenge of Bob Pierce.
A great battle up front, but back in the pack, the 93X, the 10, and now the 4-head Faree. What a show they're putting on back here in the pack. Scott Rhodes now joins the foursome as they come off of turn 4. They were side by side going down the back straightaway last lap. This time Faree looks underneath of Larry Ball for about the 12th position right now. Back about 15th, Ray Tucker is moving his way towards the front, trying to get some positions to get up the Greensboro, North Carolina driver to the front. Pete Parker in his sights right now, but back up front, it's still the T8 Bunnell. He's running a very smooth race. Rick Auckland drifts high, Bob Pierce to the bottom for the 2nd position. They're side by side coming off the turn. Pierce takes the advantage, takes over the 2nd position. Right now as they head into turn number 3.
Bob Pierce has found something, race fans, right now. He has gone around the 12 of Rick Auckland, setting his sights on Mark Bunnell. He's making the inside line move for the 32 machine. Eckert starting to close in on the leaders. And the battle back there for the 5th spot as racing John Mason has put the heat on Don Gross in the 75 machine. Mason goes around Gross on the inside. Down the backstretch they go. Mason's got the position. Back up front. Mark Bunnell holds a 3-car length advantage over Bob Pierce. Auckland starting to fade. Eckert holding his own. Mason makes the move as he comes under the flag stand. He holds on to 5th. Ray Gus also making a move as he gets around Don Gross. Ray Gus in the 12 holds on to the position in front of the 75 of Don Gross. Up front, Pierce is all over the backside of Mark Bunnell into turn 1. Pierce to the low side, Bunnell to the middle. This speedway's wide and they're racing every bit of it. Pierce to the inside of Bunnell on the backstretch. Let him have it. Nothing doing as Bunnell slams the door going into turn 3. Bunnell holds the ever slightest advantage as he hit the stripe out of turn 4. Side by side, and Bunnell pushes ahead at the flag stand.
11 laps in the books. What a great battle up front. Mark Bunnell using the middle of the racetrack. Pierce now on the low side coming off of turn 2. They're still side by side down the back straightaway. What a great battle this is turning out to be. It's Bunnell high, Pierce low. They're door to door coming off of turn 4. Pierce with the advantage. Pierce will take the lead on lap number 12 heading into turn 1 as they come on the lap car of Chad McDougal. McDougal moves up now, comes down, sees the cars now, moves back up a little bit, still lurking in third place will be the 12 of Rick Auckland. Rick Eckert running in 4th position back about 6 car lengths. Now Auckland has his sights set on second running the T8 of Mark Bunnell. Chad McDougal having mechanical problems? No. He gets back on the gas, but heads now pit side the number 7 car.
Bob Pierce and Mark Bunnell put on a one of a show there the last 3 laps. Pierce getting the advantage. The track came to the Danville, Illinois driver. Pierce sets his sights on putting another back marker down one more lap. Auckland, the car starting to work one more time as he closes to the backside of the T8 of Mark Bunnell. Mason all over the backside of Rick Eckert for that position. Racing John Mason up beside the 24 of the race. Best excavating special of Rick Eckert. Mason to the inside. Side by side at turn 3. Mason to the inside out of turn 4. Makes it stick. Will have the position at the flag stand. Back up front. Bunnell closes down on the leader. A lap car between them. Auckland's car starting to come to him. But racing John Mason's on a mission. Mason coming from mid-pack. Now, the 72, the Millersburg, Ohio driver, making his bid to make the big dance here in the Simonton Windows. Thundering them out 100. 16 laps in the book.
The 18, Robbie Scott, calling it quits for the day. Back up front, we see the 12 of Rick Auckland getting underneath the T8 of Mark Bunnell, taking over the transfer spot, moving into second place. Auckland making his move off of turn number 2. Here he comes off of turn number 4. 17 laps into the book, 17 laps down. Rick Auckland moves to second place. Of the front running, Bob Pierce has about a 15 car length advantage over second place running Rick Auckland. Now the T8 of Bunnell with his hands full of racing John Mason on his back bumper right now. Mason brings along with him the Illinois driver of Ray Gus Jr. What a great drive those guys are putting on right now. A great race for the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th places in the 04 of Bob Close has also caught up to these groups now. Ray Gus puts the move on John Mason out of turn number 2. Takes over the 4th position. Now has his sights set on the T8 of Mark Bunnell. Second running Rick Auckland knows that he has the T8, and now Ray Gus behind him. We've only got 6 laps remaining. Right now Bob Pierce with about a 10 car length advantage as he heads down the back chute.
Something's happened to the Mason machine. The car has gotten loose. It came to him and it went away just as fast as it got to him. Ray Gus Jr. powering underneath of him in the last lap. Your leader at the flag stand with 20 laps down, 5 to go, is Bob Pierce in the 32 machine. But Auckland is on a mission also. The track coming to Auckland, but the car drifts right there in turn 2, and he comes out 7 laps, 7 car lengths up to the leader, Bob Pierce. Mark Bunnell holds on to third, Ray Gus Jr. fourth. John Mason had the car come to him, the track came to him, and now he can hardly keep the back end of the car straight around the 5/8 mile speed plant. 21 laps down, 4 laps to go. Don Gross slowing on the front stretch. Don Gross and the Mopar Power 75 machine pulls pit side, gets the car off the track.
Doc, it looks like the 12 of Rick Auckland getting a rear view mirror full of the T8 of Mark Bunnell. And how about Ray Gus starting in the 8th hole, coming up now, challenging the T8 of Bunnell. Bob Pierce stretching out his lead, coming around this time. We'll see the 2 lap to go signal. Coming up to lap the car of Coolville Ohio's Larry Bond as he heads into turn number 1. Bond not wanting to give it up right on the bottom of the racetrack. Pierce, that's where he's been running. Oh, Pierce gets by him underneath off of turn 2. Bond skating high just a little bit. We've got a wreck in turn number 1. 72 of John Mason. Crashing the wall hard in the lap car. The 1Z of Jim Zarin also involved.
And Pierce will bring him to the line for the restart, and 3 laps to go. 3 laps to go. Pierce to the line. The green flag waves one more time here at West Virginia Motor Speedway. Pierce to the inside. Auckland all over the backside. The car drifts high. You could see the tires spinning on the 12 of Auckland as Pierce pulls out to a 2-car length lead down the backstretch. But now we'll dive to the inside and see what he can do. Ray Gus Jr. also down there in the 12. Out of turn 4, your leader, Bob Pierce. 3 car lengths to lead at the flag stand with 2 to go.
I tell you what, it looked like the T8 Mark Bunnell was on a rail in turns 3 and 4, having a little trouble in turn 2. Auckland spinning the tires terrible. Now here comes the 12 of Ray Gus Jr. all over the rear deck lid of Mark Bunnell as they head into turn 3. Auckland way up high in the marbles. We'll see if the cars of T8 and 12 can do anything. It's T8 Bunnell all over the rear deck lid of the 12 of Rick Auckland as they head into turn number 3 for the last time. White flag lap. Auckland up high again. Here comes Bunnell back on the bottom. It's on the bottom off of turn number 2. There, side by side. Auckland with a little bit of an advantage for the last time in turn 3. Here comes Bob Pierce off of turn number 4. He'll be your winner. Off of turn 4 for the second position. Rick Auckland looks like he will gain the position in the starting place for the 100 lapper here a little bit later on. Mark Bunnell finishes up third. The 12 of Ray Gus fourth. And John Flitter making a late race move to finish 5th. Those are your top 5 drivers.
Track with our second B main winner. I tell you what, this guy sold his truck and trailer. He had to borrow a truck, borrow a trailer to get here, ladies and gentlemen. Out of the car, let's a nice round of applause. He's hot. Bob Pierce. Bob, good run, bud.
Thanks a lot. We wanted to make this race so darn bad. Like I heard you saying, we had to borrow stuff to come out here. We got about one of everything and not enough stuff to do anything with, but that kind of got us behind the 8 ball yesterday in the heat race. I should have been better than that. But we thought about it all night long, didn't get no sleep thinking about it. So we got real determined today. We talked to Craig Callan, who's your tire, and worked with Masterbuilt boys, and they got me dialed in. And for a change, I drove the racetrack right and we made her.
How's the racetrack, Bob?
It's real nice and smooth right now. It might look like a single file racetrack right now, but it's really not. There's a fine line right now we can run on to be straight and smooth. This thing's going to widen out. I can see 2-3 wide racing today. It's going to be good.
Hey, let's take that $25,000 back to Danville. What do you think?
But if I win that $25,000, I'll move it for a couple days. I'll tell you that right now.
Good luck to you, bud. Thank you. Hey, Bob Pierce, winner of our second. The third one gets ready to roll out.
To go for our final B mains, Pro Shocks B main, our third and final Pro Shocks B main. This is how they'll line up. On the front row, starting in the OG car from Morgantown, West Virginia, this is Dave Groves. Starting beside of him in the 2J, Imperial, Pennsylvania's Mike Johnson.
Starting third, the Tennessee of Kenny Compton Jr. Starting fourth out of Coolville, Ohio, in the A10, Andy Bond.
Starting next, the OOH of Chuck Harper. Starting beside of him, the 77 of Wheelersburg, Ohio's Barry Bragdon.
Starting 7th in 11B, Jerry Bowersock. Starting 8th in the 5H, Doug Hall. Doug Hall out of Charleston, West Virginia.
Next row, row 5 on the inside, the 97F of Keith Berner. Starting beside of him, the 5B of Lou Bradich.
Starting 11th in the 1U, Mike Urban. Starting 12th in the 001 out of Parkersburg, West Virginia, Greg Mitchell.
Next row looks like this. The 21 of Jackson, Ohio's Jason Montgomery. And hey, beside of him in the 7th row on the outside, the 01, the Virginia Leadfoot of Rodney Franklin.
The 1C of Clark, the 51 of Greg Leist. They ain't out there, man. The 07R of Brent Raybergen.
The 5D of Greg Hackathorn, and bringing up the rear of the field, the 0 of Ed Schumann. Looks like 5 or 6 cars not making the call for this final Pro Shocks B main event here. Playing favorites, but the 10C Kenny Compton knows this racetrack. Picked a little bit of hard tire yesterday, didn't come on until the end of his heat race yesterday. Well, today's 25 laps. He's used to 25 lap races here. He should have the right setup for this B main here today.
I talked to his dad, Todd, and his dad said we just missed it. We were coming, we needed 5 more laps. I'd have to agree with him, but Groves will bring him to the line. It's Groves and Johnson to the stripe. On the gas, the green flag flies, and there's contact all over the place. Compton gets shuffled to the inside, but there's your leader, Mike Johnson. And Andy Bond with a big spin in turn 1. Everybody by him. He's up in the loose stuff. Tough luck for the Coolville native. As Bond pulls short of the wall, Chuck Harper collected up in the backstretch. Chuck Harper looks like Kenny Compton Jr., Todd.
Front end locked up on the 1 car. The front tire not turning. Looked like the brake may be locked up on the Z. That should be a great third Pro Shocks B main. We get set to go here. Green flag in hand. Here we go. One more time. Green flag waves. Mike Johnson jumps out to the underneath as all cars head into turn 1. A little bit softer this time. All cars trying to make it through the first turn. Greg Mitchell moving to the inside in the 001 car. Drifts up high, back up front. The 2J, Mike Johnson with about a car length and a half advantage over second place running. Dave Groves. Kennedy Kid Compton running third right now. Fourth place, the 77 Barrett Bragdon as we come by the flag stand and complete lap number 1. All cars complete lap number 1 this time by. Up front, no change. Just still Mike Johnson stretching out his lead over second place running Dave Groves. Kenny Compton, a distant third right now, about 6 car lengths back of the 0. Dave Groves, Barry Bragdon in fourth. And now Doug Hall, the Charleston driver, moves into the 5th position. Great run so far. Only 2 laps in the books. Doug Hall in 5th position, trying to make his way to the front of the field. Right now, Kennedy Kid Compton got his hands full with the 77 and Barry Bragdon for that 3rd position.
Up front, Mike Johnson holds on to a 4-car length lead over Dave Groves. Compton holds off the charges. Barry Bragdon, but Bragdon coming hard out of turn 4. Doug Hall holding on to that spot with Chuck Harper in tow. Harper and Compton in that first lap melee. Doesn't seem to have done too much to the car, but Harper slips up. The car breaking loose out of turn 2, and he loses the position. This time by your leader, Mike Johnson. 4 laps in the book. 4 laps in, the battle in the back of the pack. Greg Mitchell holding his own, but something going around his car as he lets the 001 drift up high. Rodney Franklin dives underneath, but nothing happened. Chuck Harper losing position after position. Something going southward on the Harper machine. Compton and Bragdon still battling out for 3rd, but only 2 cars will transfer. The top 2 transfer to the Simonton and Windows Thunder and the Mountain 100 run here today. Mike Johnson holds on to a 5-car length lead as he enters turn 3. Dave Groves holds on to 2nd.
Talk in the pit area today, this morning, the 01, the Virginia Leadfoot, Rodney Franklin, thought he had a shot of finishing in the top 2, and he's proving it right now, moving underneath the 008 of Chuck Harper. The 01 of Franklin starting back in the 14th position. Right now is up to the 8th position with only 6 laps in the books. Franklin, the man on the move right now, the Virginia Leadfoot now has his sights set on the number 11 of Kenny Gossler. Franklin passing 3 cars the last 2 laps, doing a great job spreading himself apart from the cars behind him right now. Back up front, it's still Mike Johnson with a comfortable lead over second place running Dave Groves. Groves with a big lead over third place running Kenny Compton, about 15 car lengths. That's just about a whole straightaway over third place running Kenny Compton. About another 2 or 3 laps, the 2J of Mike Johnson will be in lap traffic, and in another couple laps he'll be in heavy traffic if he keeps setting the pace the way he's going right now. Still, the man on the move right now continues to be the 01 of Rodney Franklin as he edges closer and closer to the number 11 car. The number 11 of Jerry Bowersock. Back in the pack, 008 Chuck Harper really falling back as the leaders now work their way through lap traffic.
Mike Johnson having a little trouble getting around the Hackathorn machine, the first car to go 1 lap down. Groves pulled up to the backside of Johnson. We'll see how that happens when they come out of turn 2. But Johnson had about a 10 car length lead, and now it's whittled down to 5. It may have been the lap traffic. Johnson sets his sights to put the Montgomery, 21 of Montgomery, down 1 lap. He's all over the backside as he comes by the flag stand. 11 laps gone in this 25-lap event. Caution waves on the speedway. Caution on the speedway. Means turn 3 and 4. Bringing out the second caution of this event.
Mary's driver David Hackathorn. Hey, Hackathorn climbing into the car this year about July. Drove a street stock for the last few years. I tell you what, done a pretty good job on the local scene here. Tough. And Mike Johnson, Dave Groves, Kenny Compton, and Barry Bragdon, and Lou Bradich. Hey, what a move he made. Him and Doug Hall putting on quite a battle up front there. Here we go. Green flag waves. Mike Johnson takes it into turn number 1. All cars coming into the flag stand this time. Groves, Johnson to the low side. Compton right against the guardrail on the bottom of the racetrack. Drifts up just a little bit. Barry Bragdon looking for a way on the inside of the 10-seat Kenny Compton as they come in turn number 3. Mike Johnson stretching out his advantage over Dave Groves to about 4 car lengths right now. Barry Bragdon all over the rear bumper of the 10CF Kenny Compton. Compton slams the door going into turn number 1. Lou Bradich in the 5 car all over the rear deck of the 77 now fades back just a little bit. And hey, look back behind them. The 11 car, Jerry Bowersock, trying to put it on Doug Hall. Hall drifts up high. Bowersock takes the position back here in 3rd place. Barry Bragdon underneath Compton. Compton slams the door one more time and turn 1 drifts up. This time, this allows Barry Bragdon to get underneath of him. We've got a spin over in turn number 1. Jerry Bowersock, after making the move on Doug Hall, loops the car in turn 1. Tough break.
Thunder in the Mountains 100 to get underway. But we got to finish this last Pro Shocks B main, and it's Mike Johnson to the line. Green flag waves one more time here at West Virginia Motor Speedway. Johnson dives to the inside of turn 1. Compton to the inside of Groves, puts pressure on him coming out of turn 2. Groves stretches it out to a car length lead, holding on to second place. Bragdon in 3rd. Back in the pack. Rodney Franklin tried to make a move, got the door slammed on him. But here he comes again out of turn 4. The Virginia Leadfoot trying to make it happen for him here at West Virginia Motor Speedway. Mike Johnson once again pulls out to a 6-car length lead. Bragdon underneath Compton as they come out of turn 2. Compton not only loses 1 spot, he loses 2 spots. 2 position as Lou Bradich gets underneath Kenny Compton Jr. At the flag stand, Mike Johnson with 14 laps in the book. Your leader, 7 car lengths to lead over Dave Groves. Barry Bragdon now wants to join the dance and fight for that final transfer spot. The question is, does he have enough time? Can he do it? Will the 77 work the way he wants it to make up that distance? A lot of real estate developing between the leader, Mike Johnson, and Dave Groves.
16 laps down, 10 to go, 10 laps to go in this third and final Pro Shocks B main event. Getting the Kid Compton off the pace on the back straightaway. Looks like his day will be done. Kenny Compton, done for the day. Coming off of turn 4, a battle back for the 5th and 6th position. Doug Hall, Rodney Franklin, and Keith Berner in the 96F. Doing war back here as they head into turn 1. Hall in the middle of the racetrack. Franklin looking for a way around, and here comes Berner on the bottom off of turn number 2. Great race with them 3 drivers. Hall pulls out on the straightaways, but slows up in the turn, allowing Franklin and Berner to catch up. Back up front, Mike Johnson stretching out his lead in the 2J car. 17 laps in the books. Second running Dave Groves started to get a rear-view mirror full of the 77 of Barry Bragdon. Just a few more laps to see who goes to the big show here today.
Johnson underneath the flag stand one more time. The lead is almost a straightaways length lead over Dave Groves. Barry Bragdon trying to find some way to get that right rear to grab onto this racetrack and get himself up to that final transfer spot. This is the only way you can race to get in. It's your last chance in the third of 3 Pro Shock B mains here at West Virginia Motor Speedway in 1998 in the running of the Simonton Windows Thunder in the Mountains 100. Mike Johnson, back marker, going to put somebody a lap down. It's the 21 of Montgomery. Been there before, Carson brought it out, kept him on the lead lap. But there it is, Mike Johnson will put a lap on to Montgomery for 21 at the flag stand. Groves holds on to second, Bragdon third, Lou Bradish fourth. Somebody needs a caution if anything else is going to happen here. It's probably going to play out just like this, Todd, the way she's sitting with 5 laps to go.
The man who needs a caution has been the man on the move all day long. The 0-1 of Rodney Franklin up to the 5th position now, starting 14th, getting by Doug Hall just 1 lap ago. Now his sight sets on the 5 of Lou Bradish, but he's got a long, long way to go. The 0-1 of Rodney Franklin badly needs a caution flag right now. The 2J, Mike Johnson coming around to complete lap number 22 this time under the flag stand. Dave Groves now having trouble getting around the 21 car of Jason Montgomery. Caution flag out, caution flag out. The car in turn 1, the 1C of Don Clark. The 0 have anything for him. Green flag waves one more time, 3 to go. Mike Johnson, Dave Groves. And into turn 1, Barry Bragdon, now Lou Bradish on the back deck lid of the 77 of Bragdon. Franklin drops back a little bit. Here comes Rodney Franklin on the inside of the 5 of Lou Bradish. Bradish slams the door going into turn number 3. The 0-1 looking for some racing room. Cannot find it coming off of turn number 4. Doug Hall all over the rear deck lid of the 0-1 of Rodney Franklin. Mike Johnson stretching out his lead one more time to about 6, 7, 8 car lengths now over the 0 of Groves. Groves stretching his advantage over the 3rd place running Bragdon of about 3 or 4 car lengths also.
Davey Johnson takes the 2 laps to go sign from the flagman as he crosses under the flag stand. It's Johnson, Groves, Bragdon, Lou Bradish, Rodney Franklin. Franklin made a gallant charge with 3 laps to go, but nothing doing as Bradish slammed the door on him in turn 3. This time by 1 to go for your leader out of Imperial, Pennsylvania, Mike Johnson. Johnson out of turn 2, 7 car lengths to lead over Dave Groves. Barry Bragdon, 1 last charge in him as he entered turn 3. He sets the car in hard. Groves is going to be able to hold him off as he comes to the flag stand. It's Mike Johnson with the checkers over the 2J. Dave Groves, Barry Bragdon, Lou Bradish, Rodney Franklin, Keith Berner. Doug Hall brings back the scales. Mike Johnson up first in the 2J machine.
And final B main event of the afternoon. I tell you, Mike, you've been out there for a couple days. That was a long one, but congratulations.
Yeah, I felt like I already ran the 100 lapper. I mean, it's just one thing after another. It took a long time to get it in, but I'm glad we got the win.
Cars seemed to get faster after all the cautions, slow up, or you really couldn't tell because you were out there so long?
Well, it just seemed like maybe after we had a little break, it seemed like the track, I don't know, it did get a little bit faster, I think. So it's getting down to one line, though, and that's the bad part about it right now.
Weather, think, playing a big condition on the racetrack?
Oh, definitely. I just hope the weather holds up, and I hope the track keeps getting faster.
Hey, good luck to you.
Hey, thank you.
Nice round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for the 2J of Mike Johnson, our last and final B main event winner this afternoon.